Okay, so, shit, I kind of lost my point there for a little bit. So I think this is kind of the big problem in the dating marketplace. If people think they're hotter than they actually are, they're going to be chasing after people that, quite frankly, they never have a chance of ever securing for a long-term relationship. And this most specifically impacts women, because here's the difference between men and women. Women, you can sleep with men that are 1, 2, 3 points higher than you in terms of physical attractiveness. That man will never commit to you. So that's why you basically have women who are all chasing after the top 10, top 20% of guys, because either you're delusional and you think you're hot shit. If you think you're hot shit, you deserve a guy who's hot shit. Also, men are perfectly willing to sleep with you. They'll never commit to you. They're perfectly willing to sleep with you once, twice, maybe keep you around as a fuck buddy. And men will sleep down. So you start thinking, because for a woman to sleep with a guy, for a woman to be able to sleep with a guy, that guy needs to be at least physically attractive enough for you to be in a relationship with him, to consider being in a relationship with him. However, men, we will sleep with women that we would never commit to, that we would never be in relationship with, because we welcome the easy access to sex, because men and women have different sexual strategies. So what ends up happening is a woman can sleep with a guy, say, let's just to use a rating scale, right? A woman can sleep with a guy who's a 6, a woman who's a 6 could sleep with a guy who's an 8. He's never going to commit to her, but she thinks, oh, I can get a guy who's an 8, therefore I must be an 8 myself. So this whole rating system is just, if you rate yourself a 10, and if you're actually a 6 or a 5 being average, if you're average and you think you're hot shit, you're going to want a guy who's a 10. You're either never going to get, you're never going to get that guy to commit who you're chasing after, who's like a top tier dude. Or when you do finally settle for a guy who's actually on your level, so it's not even settling, but you think, man, I've been with hotter dudes. And that's the other dangerous thing with promiscuity and high body counts. You can very easily sleep with men that are so attractive and of such a high status that you will never be able to lock down. Eric, can you hide this? That you're able to sleep with men who are of such a high status or so physically attractive, you'll never be able to lock down for a long-term relationship. Once you've had a certain caliber of man, and then you're going to go settle for Joe Schmo. No, he's going to be in your mind. And whereas most men are not able to consistently be, hooking up with chicks out of their league, whereas women can.
I think the question was, put yourself on a scale of objective attractiveness from 1 to 10. Confusing self-love and being confident in yourself for putting yourself on an objective scale is the point that he's making. Whereas, obviously, if you love yourself, yes, you're a 10 in your eyes, you're a 10 in your heart. But from a realistic standpoint, if you are a 7 walking around, you can love yourself as a 10, that's fine. But on an objective scale, you would be a 7, therefore you would date that or below, realistically.
Another way to look at it is, instead of just what you view yourself as, let's say you lined up 100 men, what would they rate you if they were honest?
I don't really care.
But, okay, let me ask, if you lined up 100 men, do you think they'd rate you as a 10?
Probably not, but everybody has a different point of view. Like me and my friends, I'll rate a guy a 9 and she'll rate him a 3. Everyone sees looks differently.
Yeah, it's subjective, 100%. Yeah, but just going off the objective scale, I gave myself an 8 because I know I am conventionally attractive strictly because I make my living off of my looks. That is the whole premise of doing OnlyFans, whatever. And I could see myself personality-wise, whatever, as a 10 for sure. But I think the point that they're trying to make and the point that he's trying to make is off an objective scale. It is delusional for a woman to rate herself as a 10 if she's not, because it's subjective.
I see what you're saying. But the first super chat that was asked why we started rating ourselves, it just frankly said, rate yourself 1 through 10. That's all it said. So that's why in response to the women who were saying honestly, if people would have said 8s or whatever, I probably would have let it go. But when I heard the drastic of a 4, I felt the need to say something. And then on addition to that, still, yeah, maybe if I'm really being serious, like what the stats would be if you line up 100 men, I would say I would get it probably a 9. Yeah, I'm confident in myself now, and I'm not going to try to rack my brain otherwise to bring myself down. I'm pretty confident in who I am.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I think a lot of women are having trouble finding boyfriends precisely because they're rating
Even Cheeks
themselves
only
as
is
10s when they're not.
$91.
But
Yo,
None
Cheeks,
of
thank
you
you, man.
ladies are a 10. If so, where is your Vogue contract? Kigo, you're looking like Ratatouille at best that doesn't belong in a 1 to 10 scale, but below. Men do not care about your confidence. We care about peace and beauty. You do not meet either.
Based.
That's like so based. Yeah, that's so fine because like for every one comment I get like that, I can go to my job on Thursday and be told about 10 times on Thursday that I'm the most beautiful woman they've seen in their entire life. I yes, subjectively, maybe to him, I'm Ratatouille below a 10, but I know to many attractive people and people who probably I care more about their opinions than him. Because like my boyfriend, fine as fuck. If you saw him, you would probably one of the finest men you would see out here. He's watched all my podcasts, know my opinion, how I go about things. So I'm very, very secure in what I have going on, looking like Ratatouille.
Okay, we're going to move on from the 1 to 10 topic.